All right, good morning, everyone. We're just going to be going through our some company structures that we're putting in place. This is to do with ethics, culture, and some company standards. So I'm just going to go through this presentation, and if there's any questions, we can discuss that at the end. Okay. Okay, so first we're going to talk about ethics. I'll just move my, oops, just going to move my little icon over here so I can read everything. So ethics kind of go into how you want the company to run in line with best practice. I'll just get into it. Talking about integrity, so acting with honesty and transparency in your dealings with clients and colleagues and stakeholders. This just builds trust and forms kind of a better bond between ourselves as a team and with our clients and stakeholders. Client-centered service, so prioritizing the needs, goals, and best interests of clients with professionalism and respect. That's pretty self-explanatory. So just putting, having the client's best interests and their goals in mind, and that is how we go about our duties. Confidentiality, protect client and company information with discretion and in line with privacy laws and our privacy policies as well. Compliance and accountability, so adhere strictly to all legal, regulatory, and industry standards, including fair trading and property legislation. Pretty straightforward, that one. Respect and inclusion, foster a workplace culture that values diversity, equity, and respectful communication. So our aim is to build a pretty collaborative workspace and have the goals of the business in mind, being compliant, but trying to create an environment that is rich with learning, and we're working towards common goals whilst delivering a quality service. Fair representation, so market properties truthfully and avoid misleading claims or unethical sales tactics. Continuous improvement, so commit to ongoing learning, professional development, and innovation in service delivery. Conflict of interest transparency, so disclose any potential conflicts and avoid situations that compromise impartiality. So this is just where we want to disclose if there is a conflict of interest or if there is a potential conflict. I think with this one, it's always best to disclose whether you think it may be, it's kind of getting into that grey area, it's best to disclose. So that's what that one's about. Community responsibility, so engage ethically with the local community and contribute positively to its development. So on days where we have community days or some fundraisers where we're kind of giving back to the community, that's really important for a business to be contributing in that way. Environmental awareness, so promote sustainable practices in property management and agency operations. Cool. So just to try to be sustainable and environmentally friendly. Lovely. All right, so now we're getting on to company culture. Some of those dipped on this a little bit, but in this, I'm kind of talking about two aspects. There's compliance-driven culture and professional development culture that we're speaking about today. So compliance-driven culture goes into ethical foundations, where that's the operating with integrity and transparency and accountability at every level. So all staff are empowered and expected to uphold compliance responsibilities in their roles. Proactive risk management, we identify and address compliance risks early through training, audits, and open communication. So trying to get that early intervention there to avoid further risks or ongoing issues. continuous education, so regular updates and workshops to ensure staff stay informed about legal changes and standards. As we know, there's been lots of tenancy-related reforms that have come in, and it's just highlighted again how important it is to keep up to date with legislation. So, and new reforms that come in. Professional development culture, learning as a core value. So we believe growth is an ongoing commitment. The leaders in the organisation are dedicated to this, and we want that to be the culture and the vibe throughout the organisation. Tailored training pathways, development plans are customised to suit individual roles and strengths. Mentorship and peer learning, we foster a collaborative environment where knowledge sharing is part of everyday practice. So that's kind of where, when we're in the office and we're all bouncing ideas off each other and, oh, I think this and I think that, creating that environment is gold. Like the learning that comes there is of very high value. Recognition of growth, achievements in learning are celebrated and integrated into performance reviews. So yeah, as you grow, you will be recognised. It doesn't go unnoticed. All right, so company standards. I am not able to see the top very well there. Okay, there we go. So maintain integrity, honesty and ethical behaviour, communicate respectfully and clearly with clients, colleagues and stakeholders. So that's about that communication and fostering relationships in the workplace. That is a standard that we have, compliance and legal standards. So this all gets a bit wordy and chunky, but adhere strictly to all relevant legislation, including property law, fair trading and privacy regulations. This is an absolute must. This is what we need to be doing as part of the business. Operating in this way is a standard and expectation. Ensure all documentation is accurate, complete and submitted in a timely manner. Report any breaches or concerns through appropriate internal channels. Client service excellence. So whilst doing all of this, creating the environment that we want, complying with the legal standards and regulations, we also need to be focusing on delivery. Provide responsive, transparent and personalized service to every client, act in the best interests of clients, follow up promptly and keep clients informed throughout the property process. Training and development, participate in regular professional development and compliance training. That's to stay informed about industry changes, market trends and best practices. Workplace culture, foster a collaborative, inclusive and respectful work environment. Support colleagues and contribute positively to team goals. Embrace feedback and strive for continuous improvement. Performance and accountability. So that workplace culture is a bit like what I was talking about in don't gatekeep ideas and your goals. It's really important to be working collaboratively and together so that we can all get there as a team and share and celebrate in the successes. Performance and accountability, meet targets and uphold service standards consistently. So that consistently is key. We want to not just implement this, but carry it out. Take ownership of responsibilities and deliver results with reliability. Okay, so this is some of the requirements, compliance requirements. Why it matters? This matters because a few reasons. If we have to act this way, and we are all quite aware of the penalties of non-compliance. And if fair trading were to walk in, we want to have, for an audit, we want to have all of our ducks in a row. So we want to protect client confidentiality and ensure legal compliance in line with the Privacy Act and Property and Stock Agents Act. We want to support transparency and trust. So again, building those relationships with our clients. Some clients who you will end up working with for years and years. So setting the foundation of how it's going to look and the trust building is really important. Staff responsibilities. Use secure systems for storing and sharing documents. Label and archive records correctly. Report any breaches immediately. Follow agency procedures for access control and retention. So really important there, especially about the data breaches. Sometimes if something happens and you're thinking, oh gosh, I don't want to disclose this, we absolutely have to. There's requirements of how we need to handle that notification, etc. So, okay. Then professional development requirements. So that was compliance. Agency expectations. All staff must complete an annual PD as outlined in the agency handbook. Includes CPD. So we need our CPD points updated annually. As you know, typically we will do it on a day altogether, and it's a bit of a fun day. It's a collaborative one that we can come together and do that. But if you can't participate for whatever reason, that's a requirement. Internal workshops and role-specific training for all staff. So we are dedicated to the ongoing learning and growth and support that as well. Staff responsibilities. Attend scheduled PD sessions. So just come along, submit proof of completion, because we've got to do record keeping for all of this. These are requirements. So apply learning to daily responsibilities. So that's pretty much everything to do with the compliance and personal development. So if there are any questions about any of what we've gone through today with the standards, ethics, and culture that we are wanting to bring about in the organisation, you can let me know. Thank you for coming along, everybody.